I was very surprised by your reporting, which of course originally sourced from Kentucky, that Mitch McConnell actually was improvident, arguably unwise or improvident enough to bring up his attempts to privatize Social Security. Now, the context, a lot of Republicans are trying to run from their Social Security record and, in fact, are attacking Democrats who voted for various compromise, quote unquote, proposals. So that might cut Social Security. So surprising development from the Senate Minority Leader looking to get reelected and become Majority Leader. What do you think was behind that?
Forced error on his behalf. The full context of the remarks was that someone had asked him about gridlock, which is, of course, a big hit against McConnell in this race, that he's kind of shut down the Senate and so on, and that, he was talking about that, and he was talking about his efforts to reach across the aisle, and he said, "Oh yeah, by the way, when George Bush wanted to privatize Social Security, of course he said fix Social Security. I went out and I was desperately trying to reach across the aisle to all these Democrats to get them to come along. I even asked Joe Lieberman, and he wouldn't come along with me." And then he moved on to his broader point about how he's tried to reach across the aisle. But that is a particularly ugly chapter to bring up. It's something he was very involved in. He was the majority whip at the time in the Senate, and that plan was so unpopular that the Republicans never even brought it up to a vote. And basically since then, it's been more or less politically toxic. Paul Ryan did put it in some of his earlier budgets, but as soon as the Republicans took the House and there was a chance that these budgets would be passed, he took it out of the budget immediately. So for McConnell to bring that up was surprising, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if Allison Lundergan Grimes people aren't cutting that up into a campaign ad as we speak.
If they're not, it would be political malpractice on their part. And just history for our listeners, if they don't remember, Republicans were talking about doing that, tried to do that in 2005. Democrats took the House in 2006. Obama made it part of his deficit reduction commission and talked a lot about it in 2009, 2010. Democrats lost the House in 2010, while Republicans ran on a seniors Bill of Rights, so-called. There is no penalty for hypocrisy in American politics. So Mitch made a mistake. We'll see how that affects that race.